Hello. In this video, we show how to create an images and videos study type in RealEye. This is the most popular study type as it can be used to test marketing materials, advertising campaigns, non-interactive website or app visuals, and product packaging or shelf images. To create an images and videos study in RealEye, we click New Study. Then, we select Images and Videos and click OK. We follow three main steps to create an eye-tracking study in RealEye. First, we set up the study. Here, we give our study a name and choose which devices participants can use. The images and videos study works on desktops, laptops, smartphones, and tablets. The Use Stored Calibration Data feature is helpful for study chains. This topic is explained in another video, so if you want more details, go ahead and watch it. The facial coding module detects if a participant is smiling, surprised, or has a neutral expression. Show elements in random order lets us display items randomly. When Show Separator between items is enabled, a gray screen with a white fixation cross is displayed before each item on the timeline. This helps participants focus their eyes in the same spot before each element. The mini survey at the end of the study can ask for name, gender, and age. Note, answering these questions is optional. The external tool integration lets us redirect participants from RealEye to third-party survey sites like Qualtrics, Google Forms, or similar platforms. This feature depends on the license and is explained in another video. We can add an extra instruction step that appears at the very start of the study, before calibration. We can add a headline, some content, and pick an icon from the list. For eye tracking setup, RealEye Webcam Eye Tracker is selected by default. But if we only want to track mouse movements and clicks, without eye tracking or facial coding, we can choose RealEye Mouse Tracker. RealEye also supports integration with the GazePoint GP3 infrared eye tracker, and instructions for this are in another video. For this tutorial, we select default RealEye Webcam Eye Tracker. We can add an optional intro message for participants, such as explaining what the study is about. For example, "Hello, now you are going to see a few images and videos. Have fun." We can also add an outro message, like, "Thank you for participating." Now, the study setup is finished, and we move to the next step, content setup. Uploading images and videos is simple. We click here and upload the files we want to test. If we upload videos, RealEye transcodes them for better processing, but it is possible to skip this step. Full instructions can be found in a separate tutorial. Once all of the stimuli are uploaded, we can change their order by using the drag and drop icon. And now let's say, we want participants to always start the experiment by looking at this specific stimulus. We can therefore pin it to the specific place on the timeline. In this case, it will always appear as the first item. We can rename the stimulus to make navigation easier and add instructions that will be shown just before this image. For example, press the spacebar once you count how many actors are there on the movie poster. In this case, we ask participants to press the spacebar after counting the actors. To enable that, we need to turn on the Finish on Key Press function. With this, a new option appears: Minimum Display Time Setting. It is useful, for example, when we want participants to have max 10 seconds for this task, but at least 2 seconds must pass before they can move to the next item. If needed, we can also change the separator time. Once participants press the spacebar, we can set up a survey so they can enter their responses. The survey module is a powerful tool, and we explain all its features in another video, but here is a short example of how to create a question in a survey. Now, the first image is ready. We can go to the other stimuli. Here we have two versions of the same ad. What you can do in RealEye is create a group and drag and drop the intended items into the group. By default, all items in the group will be shown in random order, but you can also choose to show only one item randomly, so each participant sees just one version of this ad. In here, we can also type an instruction, add a survey, set the display time and separator time, turn on Finish on Click or Finish on Key Press option. Now this stimulus is ready too, and we can move to another one. In this case, we see a message that the stimulus looks like a long vertical image, so it is suggested to enable scrolling. Once enabled, participants will be able to scroll through the whole screenshot of our website. Here, we want participants to book a meeting. To do that, we need to enable Finish on Click option and create hotspots that, when clicked, will allow participants to go to the next stimulus. Once done, we click Save. Here is an example of a shelf image. RealEye offers another study type called shelf testing, dedicated to shelf research. It is explained in detail in a separate video, so we can delete this item from here. For the last item, we have a video. Here we can also add instructions or set up a survey. The display time for videos is always the original video length. We can change the separator time before the video. We can also create hotspots for participants to click to finish or allow them to finish on key press. Now the content is ready. We can now save the study and preview it. When previewing, we can either launch a full preview with 39 calibration points or a quick preview with 9 calibration points, though the quality will be a bit lower. We can also share the preview link with colleagues so they can check if the study is set up well from a participant's point of view. Now it's time for the last step, running the study. To do this, we click Select Participants and choose how many people we want to invite. If we want to use RealEye panelists so that RealEye manages the fielding, they need to be separately purchased. The difference between own and RealEye panelists is explained in another video. So now everything is ready, and we can run the study. So this is how to create an images and videos study type in RealEye. In the next video, we will show how to invite participants to join the study. See you there. Thank you and goodbye.